Hey guys, with yesterday's update, we also had not only Lario, which I talked about in the last video, we also had Senelles Mainhand, and I think a lot of people expecting Senelle and Daron's main hands to be very strong, just because Diana's main hand was very strong. I guess some people are disappointed now because the main hand is not as strong as some might have expected. I think actually that's a good thing, because Senelle and the females are very strong right now, and giving her a main hand like Diana's, which would completely work over the commander again and make it stronger and stronger than it was, I think that would not have been good. Not sure if you say it like this. So let's just take a look at her main hand, and as you can see here, it's the leaf dance, which I think is a bow, which will basically change her awakening skill only in the from 65 to 75%, so every 10 female activations of your commanders, the damage will scale up by 75 instead of 65. If you take 310, which would be 260, and 20 from the dragon and 30 from castle skill as the base damage that the commander will do, the elf activation would increase damage by around about 21%. The next female hit will do after first activation, and if you unlock the main hand, it's like 24% increase, 24.2 for the first activation after the first 10. And the question is, for a lot of people, of course, 10% more female damage, more female commander damage, is that worth it to buy the main hand? And I would say kind of yes, just because if you buy it in the shop, it's 5k BDs to unlock the weapon, and you can even discount that, and that is cheaper than most people would pay for the castle skin. But if you get 4 activations, you get 40% of it. Of course, you don't get the 40% for the full fight, while for castle you get the 30% for the full fight from the first commander attack till the last. But still, I think it's kind of worth it to unlock it, as long as you use calves. If you go for bow females, if you go for, I don't know, imp or spear females, which I also rarely saw, then I don't think the weapon unlocking is worth it, because 10 or 11 potential base of your troop type that is not chaos is worth more than 10% more female damage per stack in my mind. So just unlocking it I don't think is good for not chaos, but for chaos I would for sure unlock. If you now look into the max weapon, you will see it's going up to 100%, and there you could argue that it's possibly better than 10 base or 11 base, because at least for the first activation it's like a 32% damage raise once Senelle procs. And to be honest, instead of making 310, in the end making 710 damage with the command activation can be very strong, especially if you think about stuff like if you have a 4-star Salma and she will activate a few times because you kill the front line, or if you just very lucky with Layla and have some 4 procs in the first second, and then getting like very fast stacks on the start of the fight, and your commander attacks can be double as good as before. Like if you go to 3 stacks, which is not impossible with the 4-star Layla Moment main hand, and if you get a 4-star Senelle weapon, then you should have also the Layla Moment weapon logically, because it's cheaper. And then I think this is a very strong main hand, which might be underestimated, because I think I already get 65% and here I only get 35% more. But also you have to think about it's getting like a bit over 50% better effect with this main hand. And I think that is pretty much worth it, especially if you think about you can have 1 proc realistically in the first second, and those will be 50% stronger, and your first second damage could go up by a lot with this. And if not, you will have the first proc at 11 seconds no matter what. If you go with 5 females, of course, which I would, because if you don't, Senelle loses a lot of her value. But that's maybe a topic for another video. So I hope you enjoyed this overview over Senelle's weapon, and if you have Senelle, enjoy getting a main hand if you use chaos, and if you don't use chaos, think about if you want to max her, then get her.